finish. So much to analyse with Rio and Big Dunk after that 2-2 draw. But first, we can get the post-match thoughts of Ruben Amorim. He's been speaking to Jules.
Ruben, it was a crazy end to the game, a completely different second half to the first half that we saw. First of all, talk us through what you saw with that penalty decision right at the end.
No, I think it's a soft touch. It was not from what I saw. I don't like to talk, especially when the game is finished in a few minutes, but I think it was a soft penalty. It was clear.
Are you pleased with the point?
If you start the game without the first half and losing 2-0, it's a good point. But we need to win 3 points and we need to play all the game.
Is that the most disappointing part, the fact that you managed to find yourself in a position to be 2 goals down heading into the second half?
Of course, but that is not the worst part. The worst part is that we have the free men. We are losing ball without any pressure. I mean, we are not doing what's supposed to do, and then it's really hard. And then we suffered 2 goals in second balls, and that was clear that they will create that chances by second balls. We were soft.
How do you go about fixing those problems that you're seeing?
In training, we continue to do the same. That's why in the second half we didn't change nothing. We have to do the same thing, but in a good way.
The 2 goals that were scored today both came from set pieces. Is scoring goals in the team still an issue for you?
Yes, not just scoring goals, but also create a lot of chances. We have to improve on that. But last game also we had chances. This game also we struggled with scoring goals.
Everyone can see that you so desperately want to make a success at Manchester United. Why haven't you been able to do that consistently so far with the results?
I don't know. If I know, I will change it. We have to continue to think in the next game, and everything we do during the week, we have to use it in the game. And if we do that, we are near to win games like we did in the second half. If we don't, we are not going to win.
How can you make this team better then between now and the end of the season?
In this moment, we need to focus on day by day. We need to survive this season. That is clear, and then to think ahead. But we have so many problems, and then when you go to the game and we let the time pass, it's really hard. Of course, I don't want to say just the negative part. The second half was so much better, and you believe, and in the end, I think we were near to win this game also.
Thanks, Ruben.
Thank you.
Ruben Amorim saying it was a good point. He also said if he knew the answers to how to turn this around, he would be doing it, Rio. But also that they need to play the whole game. Did you only see decent Man United play for about 15, 20 minutes there?
Yeah, and up until they scored, they looked like a broken team. They looked like a team that mentally looked broken. They looked scared. They looked scared to take the ball. They looked scared to pass the ball to teammates. They looked scared to take any risks. And one thing you heard about him in what he just said there, he said about we're going to stick to what we do and we're not going to change things. And there's a stubbornness there, which I understand. But I think in today's game, when you watch the game today, when you're so scared and you haven't got no confidence, to keep playing out and playing intricate football, that's very difficult even when you're confident. So sometimes maybe go back to front a little bit. I don't care. We came in here in our pomp when we were flying as a team that were winning things, right? And we used to have to change a little bit of details. Not a whole philosophy or a whole identity, but for moments in the game, you do something a little bit different. And then you feed your way into the game and then go back to actually what makes you a great team, or your philosophy that you live and die by. But there are times in games where I think managing moments where you go, we're going to do something different to get us up the pitch, to put Everton on the back foot maybe. You've got Højlund up front. Never run into the channel once. But the ball's not going in there to tell him to go in there, and he's not running in there. Xerxes the same. And I think you can't just... I think there's moments in games when you go to certain places in this country. I know he's inexperienced in this country and he doesn't know yet, but you come into places like this, that it demands you to sometimes do different things. And that's football. That's not going away from who you are. It's just momentarily maybe you do that to get a foothold in the game.
So did he get the starting lineup wrong? Because the subs obviously help, but did that starting lineup not even look right on paper? Duncan.
Man United.
Yeah.
Well, he only made one change, I think, didn't he, for the last game? I don't think it was nothing to do with the starting lineup. I know the subs come on and made a bit of a difference, but they encouraged Everton to come on top of them. So the first 5 or 10, 15 minutes of the game, you know what's going to happen against Everton. They're going to press you, they're going to put you under pressure. What did Man United do? They played short. They played short balls, and Everton smothered them. They smothered them and never gave them any breathing space. And Man United never adapted their play. You've got to go the other way sometimes. And as Rio was saying in there, in the first half particularly, they never once turned Everton's back line. Everything was towards the ball, and Everton smothered them. And they were more aggressive as well, Everton. So Man United definitely need to mix it up much more. I think the manager's shown a little bit of inexperience in the British game, coming to Goodison. In these circumstances, you've got to turn Everton's defence. They never did that. They encouraged Everton to smother them.
Let's work our way through this from the beginning then, because that seems the easiest way to do it. Beto opened the scoring for Everton, Duncan, but Manchester United had chances to clear the corner.
They did more aggression. There was more aggression in Everton all over the pitch in the first 45 minutes. They wanted the second ball. They got on the second and third. They made the first contact, second contact. They got on the ball, and they had more aggression in their play, particularly in the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, 5 in 4 games for Beto. His confidence just continues to grow.
Yeah, it looks like a reborn player. And David Moyes said before the game alongside us here that he wasn't playing with Sean Dyche. Came in, he's lucky to get in the team because of an injury to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But since he's come in there, I think he's worked his way into form through hard work and being ugly, playing an ugly side of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, Sean Dyche brought him to the club. He never played him, did he? David Moyes came in, never really started him as well. And as you said, a couple of injuries. And he's obviously been working really hard in the training ground. And as we talked about at the start of the programme, running away from the ball. Running away from the ball, and there it is, that's his strength. Running away from the ball with a great pass in and great finish. And again, desire. The Everton players up first. He's up first. The Man United boys are waiting for things, and they waited for things in the whole first 45 minutes.
Corey wasn't waiting for anyone, though, was he? Rio kept on the move and got his reward.
Yeah, and I mean we highlighted Harry Maguire, and I think Harry Maguire was disappointed with both aspects of that goal. In terms of the first bit where he gets running behind and then loses out to this duel here. You'd expect him to get up early and to kind of dominate that situation. I think Onana maybe might have been able to get up a bit quicker as well. But I would say the running power for Everton in the first half was really a big difference. I think that goal there, Decore runs past probably 4 or 5 Man United players in the midfield area. Here's the difference. You look at the difference in transition for the Everton players. Look at the blue shirts running back, swarming back, going to swamp this player on the red shirt here. 2v1, make it impossible for him to get out. Look at the blue shirts, man to man, up against people. That's a desire. That's not really about coaching. That's about wanting to run. That's about, it's harder to coach tactically than saying, listen, you make sure you run. And time again, that man's team won every single duel when it was about.
Certainly in the first 45 minutes, Everton were well ahead of Man United. Man United were so far off it, and as Rio says, in the transition, especially the defensive transitions, they were miles off. They just weren't running. Everton were running much harder in that first half.
So but the players you're saying, and not the tactics, that first half performance.
That bit there, for me, isn't tactics. That's saying, are you willing to run? Are you understanding when you're meant to run, and are you willing to actually roll your sleeves up and run hard over the course of 90 minutes? And we've had to wait until Man United get a goal from the talisman, from the inspirational Bruno Fernandes, and then they woke up, and then they were running. That's not good enough.
I just like to say it's habits. Man United have got any bad habits. Okay, you can train that. You can train defensive transitions. There's no excuse. You can run, but you can also train it. So bad habits, they fell into bad habits. They need to work on that in the coaching ground. They need to work hard on the defensive transitions.
But did you need to be told to run?
No, and not really. No, but I mean, you can still coach it, Rio. You can still coach it, believe it or not. You can push them in training and then get into good habits then. Man United have fell into bad habits in defensive transitions.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, but I would say as well that you look at it and go, why is he not getting any more out of these players? And I think when I sat with him yesterday and you sit and listening to him, I think the scars on these players are so deep.
But isn't part of his job to build confidence? And we keep hearing from him, the implication that the players aren't good enough, the levels aren't good enough. Isn't that part of his job to lift that confidence?
Lift that confidence, but also, look, there's players there, I'm sure there's players there you don't want, that he thinks are deadwood, but he's got to work with them.
But you've got to work with what you've got.
He's got to work with what he's got, and maybe that's why he didn't want to come during the season. Maybe that's why he wanted to delay and come in the summer. But you're not often offered the opportunity to come to Man United, and they give him an ultimatum, and he said, "Right, I've got to take it."
But isn't what he's got better than 15th place in the league?
The league table don't lie.
No, I don't think it is.
No.
I don't think it's very good if he's saying that Man United are the worst team and possibly the worst team in Man United's history. I don't think that's a very good tactic for a manager. But imagine how your players are feeling. The Man United are under pressure. The players they should be trying their best, but I don't think you need to be hearing that for your manager.
I think the manager's biggest job he's got here is rebuilding the confidence within these players, because they look shot of confidence. They look nervous. They look scared when they were there, and it was difficult to see when you're watching the game and you go, you know what, that is something that needs really kind of honing in on. And we can talk about tactics and his setup of his team, but it doesn't matter what tactics you put in. When they're lacking confidence and they're lacking them foundations of a real solid base, it's difficult to build anything.
So often when they are struggling, though, guys, it is Bruno Fernandes who stepped up for them. He did it again today with that free kick. And Dunk, you called it which way he was going to go.
Well, we were right behind it, weren't we? We could see it. I think the goalkeeper's got to do better. He's got to do better. He steps a wee bit to his right-hand side. It's no right in the corner. I think the goalkeeper's got to be making an effort for that, to be honest. Yeah. But as you say, Bruno's our best player by a distance, and he does lead by example. And he was the one who's going to get Man United. If there's anybody going to get Man United into the game, it was going to be him, and that's what happened in the second half. But I think the goalkeeper should be doing better there. He should be covering that side.
I do totally agree with that. And again, Big Donkey called it in that it'll go goalkeeper side. But how many times are we going to stand there and so Bruno's the guy that's done it? I think since he's been here, 28 goals, 10 goals, 14 goals, 15 goals, 10 goals now this season. He stands up and gets counted every single time he goes out. People call him out for this and that. He's the only one who's played to his anywhere near the ability we anticipated him being when they signed him. He just needs other players around him to start really...
He really is a wonderful player, isn't he? And he always stands up for the press as well after the games. And it must be really tough for him in there. He's at a different level from all the other Man United players on that pitch.
So influential. It was another free kick as well that led to the second goal. A good time for Manuel Ugarte to get his first goal for Man United.
Yeah, it was a great goal, and it seemed to be coming. I mean, goals do change games. He just plots himself on the edge of the box, and it's a wonderful finish with his left foot. Guides it in there. He could have smashed that and that really kind of been a little bit kind of rash with it, but he really controlled on his left side. Wonderful finish.
Everton, disappointed for Everton defending there, edge of the box. He's a free player. He's a free player on the edge of the box. One of the Everton players does slip, but it's a free hit.
But the Everton fans inside this ground, just as they did during the derby, felt like they were going to have a crazy moment at the end of this game, a chance to win it for Everton when they were awarded a penalty, Rio, at the end, but a VAR review was recommended. You've had more time to look at this now. Do you think it's more of a dive, or do you think there's enough contact for this to stand?
The more and more I've seen it, the more I look at it and go, Ashley Young's probably made a little bit of a meal of it. I've played with Ash. He won't thank me for saying it, but I think he's made more of it than what it was. But I do feel there was still minimal contact. There was hands round his waist. You saw his shirt be pulled a little bit, but maybe it wasn't enough force.
I think if the referee gives it, nobody says anything.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think if the referee
the referee did give it. So if
he sticks with the decision, I think he should have stuck with that. It didn't need to go to the VAR.
Did it meet that high threshold that they want for a clear and obvious error?
That's the point.
This is what the Premier League Match Centre have said. They've said VAR checked the referee's call of penalty to Everton for a challenge by Maguire on Young and deemed that no foul had been committed, and they recommended an on-field review. The referee overturned the original decision and play restarted with an indirect free kick. So VAR looked at it, deemed there was no foul.
Yeah, I agree with Dunk. I just don't think either way the decision was made. I don't think other people could argue, because there was a bit of contact. Was it enough force?
I don't think it was a clear and obvious error.
Well, to the goal. But if you look at the decisions that the referee didn't give in a similar position in the first half, he didn't give us a free kick in the same position in the first half. I find really difficult to understand where that becomes fair for both teams. Really, I didn't see that at all.
Did you find the penalty decision in the final few minutes difficult to understand as well?
Well, I've had a look at it, and I think that undoubtedly pulls his jersey. And I think after that, then you have to make your own mind up. I thought the on-field decision looked the correct decision. I'm a bit surprised he was asked to go to VAR, because I thought that it looked difficult to maybe change your mind on that. But I think when they go to VAR, you very, very rarely get them to change their. It's as if that they think that the on pitch, the people we're seeing it in the telly see much more and understand more. But anyway, went against us today, so we're not going to complain too much about it. But that decision just didn't go for us.
As you say, though, still a point. That's now 31 in the Premier League. Do you feel that is safety assured?
No, but you would expect me to say that. So we have to get more points when we go along. But I've got to say that our recent results have been great, and today's result was a good result for us as well. I know that we've lost 2 points today, but I think more importantly how we played, the crowd, how they saw the team performing, and yeah, we gave away a couple of really poor goals, but overall, really pleased. Is
it important now just not to take the foot off the accelerator?
Yeah, David Moyes not too disappointed at the end, but he said that they lost 2 points. How do you think that dressing room will be feeling after being so dominant?
That'll feel like a defeat, won't it? We've been 2-0 up and losing the game. They never looked like losing the game, did they? The first half they were so dominant, and then obviously Man United come into after they scored the free kick up to then. Man United were never in the game, so yeah, it would feel like a defeat in there, and they'll be down in the dressing room, but they're undefeated in 6 games now. They're picking up points, aren't they? And there's no way that Everton are going to get relegated. No way. That's the part of the line.
Yeah.
31 points. In fact, 31 points will keep you up.
You can see that he wants to try and stay fairly positive at the end of that.
To keep the momentum going in the right direction. But 31 points will actually keep you up anyway.
Definitely. Well, they're 14 above the bottom 3. He didn't want to say it after the draw in the Merseyside derby either. He doesn't want to commit to it there. But there's no chance they're going down now.
No, not at all. I mean, just the momentum's with them. This stage of the season, we always talk about when you're winning the league up that end of but also at this side of the table as well. It's about momentum. And I think they're in a really good vein of form right now. And they've got players like Decore, Beto, all playing in really, really good form. And you look at it, he's changed the fortunes and the results and the confidence within the club right now. So I think they need to take huge credits today because first half they were outstanding to a man.
And it's Brentford, Wolves and West Ham next. So you can see opportunities in those fixtures to keep the momentum going.
They all feel like winnable games now, don't they? So yeah, but you fancy Everton and all the fixtures now. They're hard to beat, but he has been conceding. They have been conceding a wee bit of goals. 2 goals today again, but they're scoring goals, and that's the main thing. When before they weren't scoring the goals, they were keeping clean sheets but not scoring. But now the Everton are scoring goals, particularly here. So you'd fancy them to pick up points in all the fixtures, wouldn't you?
Well, you didn't see a win today. You saw a draw, but it's been so good to have you back with us at Goodison Park, Duncan. Is your story with Everton not finished?
I hope not. I'll one day. We all dream about being the Everton manager one day. I know I've got a long way to go. I've had a sample of management. I want to continue. So maybe one day I'll be on the touchline.
Because you've been at Forest